This man took care of bathing his paralyzed wife every single day, but that day, something went wrong. After filling the bathtub, he suddenly slipped, hit the tub, and passed out. His wife panicked when she saw this because the faucet was still running and she was completely paralyzed. She couldn't move at all. If the water kept filling at that speed, she would drown. As the water level kept rising, she tried to move her right foot, the only part of her body she could still feel, to reach the drain chain and open it. When the water reached her mouth and nose, she poured all her strength into her right leg. After several tries, the drain still didn't open. Instead, the chain snapped off. Watching the water continue to rise, she felt completely hopeless. By then, the water had already covered her mouth and nose. To survive, she focused all her remaining strength into her left arm and slowly reached toward the nearby shower. She tried to move it to control the faucet, but her movements were painfully slow, and before she could succeed, the water fully covered her head. She was seconds away from drowning. In that moment, her strength was completely gone. She did manage to slightly turn the faucet, reducing the water flow, but the water level was still deadly. Just before running out of air, she relaxed her body and let her right leg float upward. Then, with everything she had left, she kicked the drain, and finally, it opened. The water began rushing down. As it dropped, her head came back above the surface. Her intense will to live had saved her, but then she felt something shocking. That near-death experience had brought feeling back to her entire body. A body that had been paralyzed for 30 years felt alive again. She grabbed the edge of the tub and slowly stood up, then looked toward her husband. But strangely, the man who had been lying on the floor was gone. Seeing the marks left behind, she broke down. She realized her husband hadn't actually passed out. If that was true, why had he watched her drown and done nothing? Was this all part of his plan? As that thought hit her, she grabbed the shower curtain, but her body wasn't fully recovered yet, and she collapsed again. Somehow, she stood up and staggered toward the bedside table to call the police. But just as she picked up the phone, she saw a strange shadow through the crack in the door. She had never believed her friend when she said her husband was cheating, but now she realized her friend had been right. Was her husband really trying to kill her so he could run away with his lover? To stop his plan, she picked up a shard of broken glass and carefully peeked outside to see what he was doing. That's when she realized the shadow she saw was only a curtain moving in the wind. Still, she stayed alert and slowly moved toward the door, afraid that her husband might suddenly appear in front of her.